everyone.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi, Samantha.
Hello. Thanks everyone for coming. There might be a few joining us as we have this presentation, but I'll let everyone know that I am recording. So we are recording this. It's recording right now. And it is only going to be shared with those in our group. So those who couldn't make it on a Sunday can still hear what we have to say and hear our introductions and all that. But I just wanted to thank everyone for coming, and I'll continue letting people in through. Here we go. I just pinned myself, so it's just going to be on me for a moment. I just want to share a few things before we get started. First of all, hello, I'm Sam. I'm one of the tour operators at the Battlefield Tours of Canada and at Connection Tours, and I'm so excited to go on tour with all of you. I'm very excited. Really excited for this trip. It's been 5 years in the making. Jane and I were just talking about, and this program specifically is really near and dear to our hearts. So thank you everyone for coming, because there's a lot of new faces. I just want to share my screen for a moment with you because I want to go over our agenda. I just want to be a little bit respectful of everybody's time today. So I really aim to keep it at an hour and 30 minutes today. I really hope we can. Again, there's so many opportunities we'll have to chat amongst ourselves when we're on the tour. So, you know, if there's anything pressing that you didn't get a chance to speak about in this preamble, we'll see you on the tour. It's no big deal. We'll see. We'll be together for so long. So first of all, a thank you and a welcome to everybody. I'd like to go through each and every box and have everyone introduce themselves and let us know where they're coming from today, where they're zooming from. Then we'll review that info I gave to you, because we've actually changed, just made a few little changes here and there. Nothing big, but I just want to point those out to you in the map kit and kind of go through what that info guide is all about. Then, of course, we're going to talk about the Dieppe ceremonies, because there's a lot going on in the days that we're in Dieppe. And we'll talk about other events happening in Dieppe and some of the frequently asked questions that we get at this point before we jump on an anniversary tour like this. We'll talk about COVID, of course, and all those fun travel regulations. I'm really hoping that Ian can share a little bit about what his experience has been traveling through Heathrow recently. And then we'll talk about where we're going to meet, what our meals are like, any family connections that we briefly have to go over, and any questions you may have. Okay, does it sound good?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just gonna open this screen again. I'll stop sharing here and I will unpin me. Okay, so we're all together again, and I'm going to kind of start by how my screen is going. So Jane, if you want to start us off, introduce yourself and where you're hailing from today.
Well, I've probably spoken to just about everybody, or at least emailed, and I'm really excited to have everybody as part of this tour. I'm in Barrie, so we're having a heat wave right now, and it's awful, but luckily I have air conditioning. So yeah, I've been associated with the Battlefield Tours now for 11 or how many years? I don't know. 5, 6, 7, a long time. And I can guarantee you guys are going to have an amazing trip. So thank you to Sam and Ian and Glenn for being on board with my, lists of, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and putting it all together. So I'm really happy everybody's here today to meet, and looking forward to meeting you all in person.
Thanks, Jane. Thank you. Dad, did you want to go next?
Oh, right. If I have to. Okay, I'm in Port Hope. Just got back from London on Thursday. I'm really glad I chose to do the 11:50 flight, because that's the one I took over, and it was great. It was fine. It got into Heathrow. Uh, all the transatlantics have been and gone, and so it's kind of quite open. So it's pretty good getting in. Leaving again was, yeah, it's still a bit of chaos, but lots of Star Alliance flights within Europe were affected because Lufthansa, the pilots still haven't given what days are going to go on strike yet. But there were a few disproportionate issues with the airlines, and the snaking round lineup at Terminal 2 was pretty heavy. But Air Canada wasn't affected. Luggage situation, pretty good. You know, baggage control is pretty good. So it wasn't. We got to take the media attention with a pinch of salt too. You know, so but still stick to what I suggested. You know, just with if you've got connections, and if they're pretty good, you know, if you've got at least an hour and a half to 2 hours in between connections, that's fine. But just put stuff, you know, like medication, spare underwear, spare pair of socks, and all that stuff in your overheads. Seriously, you know, just pretend that you've lost your luggage for a few days. That's all. That's all I do. So it's but we'll cope. We'll get there. And as I say, we get into Heathrow around about midday, so we can go straight to the hotel and straight to the rooms and drop the bags off, have a kip. Or join Sam with a bit of a walking tour, because Glenn and Sam and David is going over in about 3 days prior, but Glenn and Sam are going over 2 days, so a day prior, so they'll have been rested and so forth when they meet you at Heathrow. So they'll probably take you up a little bit of a walk around Milton Keynes before an early dinner. Yeah. Anyway, that's Heathrow.
Thanks,
oh, by the way, I'm in Port Hope. Did I tell you I was in Port Hope? I'm in Port Hope.
Thanks,
I'm not by the pool yet because I'm sitting in front of my computer. And I don't have air conditioning, Jane.
Oh.
We rural folk, we
I'm
can't.
sorry. I'm so sorry, Ian.
No. I seriously, the whole basement downstairs is so nice and cool. That's where the dog is right now. So yeah.
Well, we appreciate that intro. I appreciate how brief you were.
Right. oh, really? Oh, the apple falls far from the tree, doesn't it? Hour and a half. You kidding me?
You go next.
These people have got lives together on a Sunday afternoon. They've got to listen to you for an hour and a half. Brief, you'll get brief. I'll see you in Dieppe.
You want to go next, Glenn?
Yeah, you bet. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'll say good morning. I'm here in Vancouver Island. Still morning, so glad to join you all today in this Zoom. As Jane said, and Ian, we're really looking forward to doing this. I've worked with the Battlefield Tour since 2009. I've done all the major tours where they involved Dieppe or Normandy or Vimy or Passchendaele. So we got a lot of experience on this trip with the four of us combined, including David and Sam. It's going to be really good. I've seen some social media chats going on about people who wish they were on this tour with what's going to happen and the people that are with you. So I'm looking forward to meeting you all. It'll be the first time I see you. It'll technically be at the airport in Heathrow the morning of, or just close to lunch when you guys arrive. And as Ian said, we'll head out from there and we'll begin our tour. We'll kind of start off a little slow and then we'll start exploring Bletchley Park the following day and just it'll go from there. But once we get into Dieppe, it's going to be a lot of information. I'm going to take the story from its very inception to its very final analysis for you there. And with David and Jane along and Sam with their knowledge combined, you guys are in for a real good trip here. So just come prepared, and you might want to do a little bit of reading, a little bit of documentary watching before you come. Just get yourself up to speed a bit. But if you're not, don't worry. We'll take it all from ground zero for you. And again, looking forward to seeing you all very soon there.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks. David Johnson, you're next on my screen. If you would like to say hello and tell us where you're hailing from. Great to meet you in real life.
Yeah, great to see all of you folks too. So I am sitting down in my house in Sydney, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. It's a little steamy hot here too, but just as I look out my window there, I'm looking out to Sydney Harbor, and then off there is the North Atlantic Ocean. So it helps to be sitting beside the North Atlantic Ocean on a day like this. But I'm so looking forward to this. I know my brother Paul will be on. I've seen him, so we'll be going over together. And I'm really looking forward to this. This is the first time I've done one of these tours. I have tripped over to, I've tripped around Normandy some 20 years ago, taking in all the D-Day beaches. And I've always had an interest in military history. My wife and I were at Vimy a number of years ago, Vimy and Ypres for the First World War stuff. And I've been to Arnhem and I've been to Hong Kong and Singapore. So I've always attended a Commonwealth War Graves Cemetery visit in these places. So I'm really looking forward to this one and meeting everybody over there.
Awesome. Do you go by Dave or David?
David.
David. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Paul, you're next in the list. So do you want to say hello? David's brother, everybody.
Yes, I'm David's brother. It's despite what he just said about being called David, I've always called him Dave. So there you go. But I'm here in Mississauga, Ontario. For those of you who don't know where that is, just west of Toronto. And we're right close to Pearson Airport, which we'll be flying out of. And that has just had the dubious distinction of being the worst airport in the world.
Yeah.
So you're boarding now, are you? Is that it?
So we're, I think I've got over my worry. I think it's not going to be as bad as it was back in July. I think that's when it got the designation, the worst airport in the world. I think since then it's improved somewhat. So we're hoping to be able to get, I think leaving at 11:50 at night is a great idea because it should be much less crowded then.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to this. Unlike David, I have never been to any of these places before. I've never been to Bletchley. I've never been to Dieppe. I've never been to Normandy. So I'm really looking forward to seeing all of these places and meeting everybody on the tour.
Cool. Thanks, Paul. Wow. Tremendous honor for someone who hasn't been before to come along on this trip. This trip's a little different from your average, like the original battlefield tours, but thanks for coming. It's so great to have faces to your names because we've been communicating back and forth for so long. So, and I'm so sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Rosalind? Is it Rosalind? Rosalind? Oh, here, let me take you off mute.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe they have to do it themselves.
Yeah,
I'm
bottom.
going to
There you go.
There you go. Greetings from the UK.
Hello.
It's Rosalind. And my name's Rosalind, but it's a bit of a mouthful, so let's call it Ros.
Roz, I love it. I love it.
Anyway, this is my husband, Peter.
Hello.
And we live just outside Bath.
Mm.
So I expect lots of you will know. But first of all, I'd like to start off by saying thank you so much for inviting us to join you on your trip. Thank you to Jane and thank you to Ian, because I've been wanting to go to Poland for many years. And of course, COVID stepped in and everything went everything went pear-shaped. So we won't be seeing the you folks who are going back from Paris, but because we are only doing the Polish part of the trip. But Peter and I have both been to Bletchley Park, and I was born up on the south coast of the UK, and Dieppe was a regular trip. New Haven Dieppe, when I was little, was almost an annual outing. But having said that, I have to say that I knew there was a cemetery there, but it's only in doing all the research that I realized the implications of everything and the horrific story behind it. So although we won't be with you in person, we will be with you in our thoughts.
That's so lovely. Thank you, Roz. And it's so great to meet you too, Peter. We'll see you in Poland. Thanks for joining for
Yes.
this too. This is so beautiful. Your emails back and forth were quite delightful. So thank you. Thanks for that. Gwen, you're next, my friend. Hey, great to put a face to the name.
Yeah, my much better half is out of the shower today, so she's not here, but she will be on the trip. That's Laura. First of all, I really wanted to thank Jane for her leadership in putting all this together. And I didn't realize she'd been doing it previous ones, or maybe I would have been motivated to come earlier. But no, it's really good. I'm looking forward to it. We're doing the Polish extension as well. So I just kind of want to, you know, for me, I've never been to France. I've never been to Poland. I've been to Britain a few times. We have family all through Britain, you know, down right from Southampton to Wales to Leicester area up in Glasgow. So no, it's going to be good. It's in my bucket list forever. And the problem is, as you get older, the bucket list gets deeper and the arms are shorter. So I'm glad to get this one off the ground.
Yes. And where are you calling from today, Gwen?
I'm from Ottawa, and it's sunny as heck out, but they got a severe storm watch out, so I don't know.
Is that what the text I just got from you, O'Keefe?
Yep.
The storm.
Yeah. I'm sorry for being late. I was building the ark. So we're getting all the animals on. Yeah, I've got 2 dogs so far. I'm working on the others. Yeah, we just got hit here. So, and they're expecting a lot more all night. So
Whereabouts is David?
I'm in Rigo. I'm not far from you. I'm only about an
Oh.
hour and 15 from you. You usually get them before we do, but I guess it
Well, ours-
missed you and hit us.
Well, ours came at 1:30. It says it was out in Hazeldean,
Okay.
and it should probably be here by now, but we got sunshine, so it bounces along the Ottawa River. It goes from side to side.
Mhm.
The other thing I wanted to say to David is I'm really looking forward to hearing some of his views. Like I've read a number of different books over the years, and every historian has a slightly different take on the same event. But I like listening to people that have spent a whole lifetime doing research on these kinds of things, because without them, we wouldn't have any of these books to read.
Amen. All right.
There's gonna be a lot of that. You're gonna get fed up with me after a week. So
Sam said she already is.
That's not true, but
I'm
I
not saying anything out of turn though, David. Just want
I
the
will.
tour to start nicely.
I just wanted to ask one question before we go on. We've been listening to all of this stuff on Pearson, so we've been playing it, trying to get it just doing carry on,
Yeah.
and I think we've got it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Which option did you go for, Gwen, after you gave me 3?
What do you mean, which option?
Didn't you send me 3 options that you were thinking about? Or was that maybe not? Maybe it
Well,
wasn't.
we're going with the we've got the carry-on bag size.
Right.
They're packed, and my wife's got a personal item. I got a personal item backpack, which, you know, it should meet the dimensions. So that's what we're doing.
They're just not checking. They'll have to start soon. They're just not checking dimensions. The flight I had coming over from Heathrow the other day, it was ridiculous. People coming in with these suitcases, and the poor flight attendants trying to, and of course the flight was delayed because of this, trying to get the overhead bins. It was ridiculous. I said to my partner, she's management with Air Canada, said, you got to start putting this together. This is ridiculous. You know, like those gate times are really expensive, and it's you know, it's just insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my thing for the day.
Our luggage would be a little bit of miracle work. I'm sending my good energy to all of you the night before packing, that's for sure. Let's move on. Bob Elliott. Hello, my friend. Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm actually up on 4 Mile Lake, which is just a little bit north of Lindsay and the Kawarthas. Yeah, and I would just like to reiterate the earlier comment. Jane, thank you so much for all your good work organizing this. So my dad was Private James Elliott, and Jane, can you confirm, do you know, was he in fact the youngest on the raid?
I'm
No?
still trying to work that out, but I'm not sure.
Ah,
There, so many of them lied about their ages. There's
yeah.
Patty Grogan. You probably heard of Patty Grogan. He was 16 when he enlisted, and he would have ended up anyway. At some point, we'll talk about it on the tour.
Yeah.
But that's something I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Sure. But he might have been close.
Very close. Anyway, this will be my second time. I did go with him in 1972.
Wow.
Was the 25th anniversary, so I'm dating myself with that one. But anyway, looking very, very much forward to it. So to meet everybody.
Oh, Bob, that is so cool. I'm so glad you got to go over there with your dad. That
Yeah,
is so, I have a few questions for you now.
Yeah.
How old does your dad claim he was?
Well, we do know, and actually Jane had found some documentation. He enlisted, he was 16 as well when he enlisted. And he had just celebrated, he was born July the 6th, and he had just turned 19 that it went at the time of the raid. Okay. So that's that much we can confirm.
Wow, it's wild.
And his nickname in the camp was Boy. They called him Boy. So
wow. Crazy. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy you're coming with us, Bob. That's great. Thank you and welcome. Tony Churchill. Hello. How are you, my friend? Do you want to say hello and where you're coming from today?
I've just unmuted. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
That's good. So I'm in Mississauga, and a friend of Paul Johnson, who introduced me to the tour. So I'm just extremely excited that hopefully I'll be coming. I've just got a few hiccups to sort out tomorrow morning with Karen in Burlington. No particular connection with the Dieppe raid or whatever, but we did go to Bletchley some years ago, and I'm really looking forward to going back to Bletchley and also Portsmouth again. So we should see you all soon, hopefully.
Yay! Thanks, Tony. Oh, so great. Thanks for coming on to the Zoom, anyways. And I'm
Tony.
Rooting for
yes,
you.
Ian.
I checked the flights. You're good for both ways with the group and back with the group on the 23rd. So
terrific.
I'll get it. I'll go over it with you tomorrow after you've spoken to Karen. But I just checked it just an hour ago, and it was good. Okay.
Thanks so much.
No worries.
Thank you.
No worries.
We're rooting for you.
Okay.
Thanks for joining anyways, Tony. That's really wonderful. I see Gary.
Yeah. I'm Lenny.
Lenny Brown.
I couldn't get it on my iPad. I couldn't get the video. So anyway, yes, I'm Lenny. I'm traveling with my son Jordan, who had never met my father. My father had passed away 47 years ago. So Jordan is 42, has always been quite interested in this. Oh, and by the way, Ian, I'm calling from Coburg.
Oh,
okay. Just around the corner from you.
Yeah.
I have been to Dieppe. I've been to France and England a couple of times. And so the last time we were there, my husband and I did go to Dieppe and had a visit. Actually, it was on June the 6th that we ended up going to Juno Beach, which was incredible. So this is very exciting and emotional because I'm going with my son. So I'm looking forward to it. So other than that, not too much more to say. I just find it really emotional because of the connections that everybody I know has. So Jordan and I are leaving on Tuesday. We're flying into London for a few days to take a little look around for him. And then we'll meet everybody up at Terminal 2 at Heathrow on Saturday.
Yay, Lenny. And can I just let you know, Lenny, you were one of the first to sign up for the trip.
Really? I was afraid I was getting a bit late there, so thanks for letting me know. Hi, Jane.
Good to meet you finally.
Yes, yeah, very nice to meet you. I can't wait to see everybody in person.
Oh, it's gonna be so
Amazing.
good. Oh, thanks, Lenny. Thanks for that introduction. I absolutely love that. I have Carolyn, and I believe is it Jackie Ogilvy? Hi, guys. Hello. Hello. How are you? Where are you guys calling from?
We're calling from Cambridge. We're at my house today. So my mom lives in Dundas, so we're just outside Toronto.
Beautiful.
We're pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. Very excited.
Mm-hmm. And have you guys been to Dieppe before?
No.
No.
Busy lives, 4 kids, a stable of horses, and I could never escape. And my dad, the last time he went, I must have been 7 or 8 because I remember him going. And he never went after that. I think it was difficult.
Wow.
He was in the Rileys, the Hamilton Regiment,
yeah,
and White Beach, 13th Platoon.
Wow.
And managed, well, funny little story, getting on to the beach. And he said he had a professional gambler from Quebec who was in his platoon, and they were running gambling stakes and how many seconds to get off their landing craft. Yes, 9 seconds and no casualties. And my dad said he was, the lieutenant, so he had to open the gate. Anyway, not that carried them forward with no casualties because my dad was severely wounded, but still managed to get to his objective and got men off beach, one of his very good friends who I think I've shared with Jane what this person had a spinal cord injury. They didn't know. So my dad, even though he was injured, they got him. He said 3 landing crafts blew up before they could get out off there. So he got the MC for getting a number of people off the beach. And then his friend founded helped found Lyndhurst Lodge, which is now Toronto Rehab.
Wow.
The Canadian Paraplegic Society was founding member with one of my cousins.
Wow.
Anyway, and then he spent his life working for the Department of Veterans Affairs.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And got some really good things forward for people and their spouses to be taken care of. So I'm very excited to go. You've talked very little about Dieppe other than the humorous side, which is one I just shared with you about the betting.
Gambling, yeah.
And so to tour all the different battlefields, because I know same experiences for all of those regiments.
It really is. I cannot believe that you have such a history and you've never been.
Well, I've been to a few places, but never time to do it.
Oh,
right?
Sure.
She was good. She let us travel the world while she was taking care of everything at home. So I'm excited that we get to go together. Yeah.
Oh, that's so special. Thanks so much for coming. And it's funny that you go right after Lenny because Lenny was the first to sign up and you guys were the last to sign up.
Well, we were on the Riley's trip and they canceled theirs.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because of COVID, right? And I thought, well, that sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a real shame. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're coming with us. And there's a few things that we are going to discuss with you guys because you're with the RHLI and there's a few other things that you might want to do. So maybe the Glenn, you and I can discuss with Jackie and Carolyn how that's going to go. But anyways, let's move on. I just have 2 more left. But first off, the next person on my screen is Mr. David O'Keefe. Hello, sir. Do you want to introduce yourself? Maybe tell us where you're calling from today and
where am I calling from today? Yes. Okay, hang on a second. Let me just get back up here. Yeah, I'm having a problem. Sorry, guys. I've been having serious issues with all communication for the last half an hour. So, all right, there we go. Hi. I am in, well, just outside Montreal. I'm in a lovely little mountain town called Rigaud, which is right 5 minutes from Ontario. So I'm like an hour and 15 minutes from downtown Ottawa and an hour from downtown Montreal. So it's a nice little place. And I am right now, as you can see, I'm hunkered in my bunker where for the last 2 years I've been teaching from. So I'm looking forward to getting back to humanity and getting out with everybody. And also I'm really looking forward to this one. I know that this is different than most of the normal battlefield tours because this really is a pilgrimage. And, you know, that's something that I'm really looking forward to. And of course, this has probably been a bit of a long time coming because I met Jane about 12 years ago now, Jane, when we were much younger. And Jane, you know, unveiled around that time what she was planning to do. And I sit here in awe a decade later of what you've actually done. I mean, it's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to put in the spade work like you have done. So it's an absolute immense pleasure and honor to be with all of you on this. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm heading over actually on Tuesday as well. I'm going to be doing some work in London for a couple of days. And then I'll meet you guys at Terminal 2 and then we'll all have fun and go up to Bletchley and I'll be with you for 7 days. So you can use and abuse me as you see fit. Okay.
It's true. Don and Susan Parker are next on the list. Hello, Don and Susan. Do you want to say hello and where you're coming from today? Oh, maybe they're not here. If they don't speak up, I'll move it on to June Thompson is last on the list. June, did you want to say hello?
June's not. June, oh, she was on mute.
Yep, I've just asked to unmute, but maybe they're doing what I do sometimes in webinars, and you know, you put it on, you're watching, but you're really out somewhere else doing laundry.
Right.
Like teaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shame on yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's still, our video and audio isn't working, but we are here. Oh, okay, good.
Oh, okay.
We're happy that you're here, Dawn and Susan. And
I can speak for them. They live in Barrie. I was just at their house the other night.
Oh, sweet.
They're wonderful. We're going to have such a good time with them.
We're really excited for that. Thanks, Jane. They say, that's great. I'm so happy that you all came. There's a few that we're missing, so I hope you guys don't mind, but we will be going through intros again when we're on the tour. And on the day that we first get together, I would like to spend some more time with all of you going through all of your family backgrounds, because like Lenny said, it is pretty remarkable, all the military backgrounds that we have on the tour. And just yesterday I was compiling everyone's what they wrote in their registration form, and I sent it to Jane, Dad, and Glenn and David, and I just got emotional when you see it all together. It's the work Jane has done is pretty remarkable, and I know that it's tireless. But I just wanted to thank you again, Jane, for doing this. This is incredible.
Well, thank you for taking my ideas and running with them. I will be sending out, I put a little booklet together. You have all contributed, and that's wonderful. Thank you so much. There's a little bit more info on everyone's families, but that'll be coming out a little later today. But it's just been amazing getting to know all of these people and knowing that we're going to be together and honoring our fathers and grandfathers and friends and other family members. So this is pretty amazing.
Pretty wild. I like to say we're kind of like, you know, I feel pretty close to everyone when we travel. It's kind of like family, you know. It'll be, I don't know, I'm really excited. I think now looking at the time, I'd like to kind of go through the info kit a little bit with you. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to share my screen one more time, get out of our agenda for a second, and open up this booklet. Just offhand, you can raise your hand or just speak up or comment in the chat, but did anyone have trouble accessing their info guide online? Oh, great. Fantastic. Hey, that's great. Hey, this is slowly but surely, 7 years later, getting easier and easier to deal with online information. We don't print or distribute, but it is printable. However, I did make some changes. So if you go back to the website that we have the link, I wonder if I can get that up on the screen.
Samantha,
Yeah.
how does David feel about that picture that you put of him?
On what page?
There.
Oh, do you not like that?
Looks like somebody surprised him.
Yeah, really.
I'm so sorry.
I'm extremely happy about going, as you can see.
All the good shots of David that you see, and that's the one you use.
I took screenshots of everybody in videos. I'm sorry. You have to deal with my marketing because we don't have marketing or publicity.
You're on my radar, Cowan.
I'll keep running. So you'll find a lot of helpful stuff in the guide. There's the link in the kit. So if you want to share this link with any friends or family so they can keep tabs on what you're doing, there's a link there. There's also a link there so you can easily find your kit online. We go through really brief information about the Dieppe raid, but we're really leaving it to Glenn and O'Keefe for a more in-depth understanding, and use this just as a resource guide. I will let you know that a lot more resources are coming your way. Usually I compile while we're on the tour, and then you get an email when we finish the tour. When you're home, you'll get an email with, more links to resources and more information that we just kind of pick up along the way. And I know that O'Keefe has a lot of really fun maps and stuff that we'll probably keep in a Dropbox file for us to all share, just if you're that kind of person that wants more information. But here's our itinerary here. It'll give you a list of the tour inclusions and exclusions. Just a note at the itinerary, our meals are right here. The B is breakfast, L is lunch, and D is dinner. So you can see where we're having dinners and where you have nights on your own by just looking at that code at the bottom. Okay. Fun links and stuff on this page. Like you can see the interview that O'Keefe did with Woody on World War II TV about Dieppe. It was really in depth, and it's actually over 3 different parts on their YouTube channel. They worked really hard over COVID to get that stuff out. So again, there's lots of resources that you can take a look at before you go.
The 3 parts run about 6 hours, so it'll be perfect for your flight. So there you go. Nice and entertaining.
Right.
It is actually quite entertaining. And just a note for you guys, we have, some of these dinners that are coming up. If I can just point out, we have some special dinners on Monday, August 15th, when we eventually get to Portsmouth. We will be having a special guest join us, Stephen Prince, a naval historian, and a few other of Portsmouth, naval historian. And I've just been listening to some podcasts that he did, and they're incredible. But we also have a few other special guests that are joining us in Portsmouth, and of course in Dieppe. A special dinner that we have in Dieppe is right on August 19th, as you can imagine. So this is the first change you'll see in the original map kit. We originally had a dinner on our own on August 19th, but with this amazing opportunity to have dinner at Les Arcades restaurant, so excited.
Yes, you'll understand why we're there when we're there.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say.
Okay. Unless you've been watching the History Channel lately.
Yeah, or reading my books, and you already know, and there's no surprise. But yeah.
But just keep an eye on how your dinners have been rejigged, because we've made it so that we are having a special dinner all together at Les Arcades at 7 o'clock on ceremony day, which is August 19th. So keep that in mind. We've got some special guests joining us for that dinner as well. Some of our good friends in Dieppe and beyond, actually. I'm really excited for that. We continue into Normandy. And we continue into Paris on this itinerary. So we're leaving David O'Keefe on the day that we head to Normandy, which is August 20th. So get your farewells into David. I even put it on the itinerary so that you know to get your farewells to O'Keefe on that day. And then we continue to Normandy. Normandy, we have a VIP visit at the Juno Beach Center. The Juno Beach Center has prepared an exhibit called From Dieppe to Juno. You can take a look at it online, but they relied tremendously on Jane Poulton and her work, and relied a lot on a lot of the travelers that we have had on the Dieppe trips prior to this. So it's a really special exhibit, and it's dedicated to the families of Dieppe. So we are going to spend a great deal of time at Juno. Yes, there probably will be media there. Yes, their staff are really excited, and they want to spend some one-on-one time with us as a group. And the cool thing is that we're a really small group. There's only 25 of us, and that includes me, Jane, David, and Glenn. So that includes staff. So that's kind of cool. That's actually really nice to kind of have this private VIP time when we're at Juno. On August 22nd, we head back to Paris. We'll take a meandering route down to Paris, and we'll have dinner in the heart of Paris. We'll continue back up to and it'll be close to the Notre Dame. So we'll get to take a look at how Notre Dame is looking. The restaurant that we're eating at is a very good family friend of ours who owns Jardin de Notre Dame. So in the gardens of Notre Dame.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we'll head back up to Charles de Gaulle Airport for our overnight. The next day is so easy, just because all of our flights, no matter if you're going back to Canada or you're coming with Jane and I to Poland, all our flights are at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So there's no big rush, and we're close to the airport. So it's about 30 minutes from door to door. We just take the CDG shuttle right into Terminal 2. So we made it as easy as possible that day to kind of get us where we all need to be. I will mention, though, I'm sorry I'm backtracking, but just on this day, Sunday, August 21st, we will be eating a local meal in Bayeux. So for those of you who are like, there's no Bayeux on the itinerary, we do get dinner in there, so you can at least see what how such a beautiful city is. And we'll be eating dinner with Paul Woody and Mags from World War II TV.
Nice.
So it'll be a really some fun, just family, friends, and good battlefield community kind of joining us and supporting us throughout our trip. I'm not going to go into Poland, but there is a lot to discuss in Poland with those who are joining us in Poland. We are going to Auschwitz. We reached out to all of you to ask what your thoughts were, and the overwhelming response was yes, which I completely understand. I myself am going through reconciliation training here where I live in Saskatoon, and we draw on these parallels and similarities with Auschwitz. So for me, it is quite interesting to go back with this lens on the training that I'm doing. And for those of you who are coming to Auschwitz, know that there is preparation material that I have for you. Okay, so there is a little bit of preparation. This isn't something, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing is not intended for children. A lot of the areas that we will have a guide at Auschwitz with us, but I do have some paperwork for you guys just to go over, just to mentally prepare us for our time in Poland. But it really is going to be special, and I think it's really important. Moving on through the itinerary, our tour pickup point. This is actually a picture of Terminal 2A where we're meeting. Terminal 2, it's just Terminal 2, international arrivals at Heathrow. So we're meeting this flight, AC 858. So if you're not on that flight, know that the majority of the people who are coming are on that flight. So Glenn, me, and David are just watching that flight. Yep. So if for whatever reason that flight's delayed, Glenn, David, and I are going to be delayed too, coming into the terminal for that flight. So keep tracking that flight, even if you're not on it. If you're at a hotel nearby at Heathrow and you're meeting us at that terminal point. I also put this very pretty picture of Glenn, I think.
Yeah, he gets the nice picture.
I'm not picking favorites, I promise. I'm screenshotting. I think you're all just beautiful people.
A
But
rough night before.
that was a rough night before.
Yeah, that was the going home day, and we had stayed up quite late the night before.
Not a lot of sleep. But that I just highlighted his phone number. I'll further down in this map kit, you'll also see my cell phone number. You'll see my dad's cell phone number. You'll see our office number in Burlington. There's so many ways to get in touch with us that day if you need us. My phone is always at my hip. Glenn is also has his phone on Roam Like Home. So you can call our number like you would in Canada if you need us for anything. We also have our emails at our hip too. So, oh, sorry, I just clicked to send Glenn an email. Sorry. If you click anything in here, it'll take you right to that link. So a little bit scary. Tour transport. I just want to quickly talk about our coaches because we're living in a post-Brexit world.
It's not a 50-seater.
Ah, of course not. It's a 35.
Yeah.
Because we're only 25 people. I'll change that for you guys. I'm so used to it being the 50-seater. It's really nice having these small groups. But Vermeeren is not our only coach company. It's just the main one. So when we're in Britain, we will be using local British coach companies in both Milton Keynes and Portsmouth. So keep that in mind that Vermeeren is our coach company in France, and we have these local coach companies along the way. If for whatever reason you need that information, you just reach out to Dad and I, and we'll be able to send you that information. It's not really something I have to do with a group like this, but with student groups, the parents always want to know. So, you know, maybe like that. Hotel list, beautiful hotels all the way through. Dad, is there anything that you want to mention about our hotels here?
So look, not really.
Okay.
But this time we are going to get an extra tarp for Glenn's tent this year.
Yeah.
We've got enough money for it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We treat Glenn with a lot of respect.
Respect, actually. Yes. Yes.
You'll notice, everyone, if you don't know Glenn and my dad, they have a really unique working relationship.
Yes, yeah, it's all based on zero respect.
They love to hate. Good.
Yeah.
It's quite beautiful.
Oh, no, we're all good. We're all good. We live at different ends of the country. We love each other.
They really do. If I look at past pictures, it's really quite something, but it's an entertaining for all of us to watch when we're with Dad and Glenn and Dieppe, that's for sure. What do I want to say about the hotels? I mean, nothing really. I'm excited to stay at the Holiday Inn in Milton Keynes because the Holiday Inn has such a big brand and a big name over there. The Ibis Portsmouth Center is a 3-star, and sometimes we stay at the Queen's Hotel, which is a 4-star. I like the Ibis. It's modern, it's clean, it's easy to use. It's central, it's close. So anyways, that's why we're at the Ibis instead of the Queen's. The group 5 years ago stayed at the Queen's, and it is a super duper old hotel. But the Ibis is nice. It's nice and modern and clean, and we're only there one night. Hotel de l'Europe, right on the beach at Dieppe. The big thing to know about this hotel is that, yes, we're right in front of the circus.
Yep.
So, and it's Dieppe 80. There's going to be a circus. So there's the line of I'm sorry, I realized I still have Dad pinned there. But there's the line of hotels, and then there's a big block of grass and lawn from the hotels to the beach, and all in there they'll have a circus.
Carnival.
The carnival. Yeah, carnival. The carnival. The great thing about this hotel though is that all the rooms are soundproofed and they have blackout curtains. And it's still like we're right close to the beach. We're very central. We're right behind the harbor where all the main restaurants are. So and the staff there, wait till you meet them. They're just beautiful, wonderful people. I always like to come with a present for them because they just pour love out of their hearts always. So really like this hotel, but not to shock you when you get there and you see this huge carnival out front. It's every year. It's in Dieppe every August. It always coincides with the ceremony dates. And it's interesting to talk about, like when we were talking to Dieppe veterans about how they felt about the carnival and how people feel about it and how it's a celebration. It's a positive thing. So Novotel is not central. It's not within Calm, but it is again a beautiful four-star hotel, and it's got a pool. And usually we're there in like April and March and June and like the springtime. So I'm excited to go there in the summer. I'm not too sure if the pool will be open, but I will definitely check because I know our coach driver likes to bring a bathing suit. So just in case, he always says just in case. Our hotels again in Poland are all very central located, and this last hotel that we're staying on, if you're on the Poland extension, is very close. It's right beside the airport. It's just across the street. For those of you on the Poland extension that are heading back to Canada on the 26th, you'll know that our flights have been changed to 6 a.m. So we don't have breakfast. We're going to wake up at, I believe it's 2 o'clock in the morning or something crazy. Yeah, 3:05 is when we actually have to get to the airport for our boarding at 6:05. So that's an early morning. Anyone have any questions about what they need to pack? It's pretty straightforward. Great, cool. Ceremonies for dinners and dress code, I would always say dress comfortably. Yes, I would imagine that on August 19th, we're going to get a little gussied up, but don't go overboard and don't worry too much because your luggage is the most important. So dress for comfort and warmth. A lot of the ceremonies are outside. We've got a lot of great suggested reading. I had to put, of course, Jane and Jack's book at the top, Destined to Survive. I consider it required reading. Of course, David O'Keefe's book too is right up there at the top. But all these books were chosen with a little bit of intention, and I recommend all of them, especially A Métis Man Goes to War. I have a personal connection to Paul Delorme because he passed away in Saskatoon in April of this year. He was 90. So I'm kind of carrying his story with me. So I recommend that book. Anything about books that maybe Glenn or O'Keefe want to mention?
You got a nice collection there. You know, if you've read those first 3 or so, you're going to be doing pretty good. Just to back up, just to trace there, Sam. So I was last in Europe. I'm going to call on your dad for some assistance here, Ian. So I was last in Europe in May, and in reference to COVID, does Ian want to speak a little bit about the COVID, what he's
that's a good idea. Yeah,
sure, I'll go to that.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just maybe in the airports, on the planes themselves, and out in general public.
You're going to be Air Canada still has a policy of face masks. You're allowed to take them off while eating for a maximum of 20 minutes. That's once you that's mandated at the airport as soon as you walk in for check-in, right through until you get off the aircraft at Heathrow. Once you get off the aircraft at Heathrow, you do not have to wear a mask in Heathrow. Okay, you don't have to wear a mask on either, but Sam and Glenn, you will have your own policies, I assume. But as a mandate, there's absolutely no mandates in France, UK. It's like it never happened, really.
Yeah.
So
I know the coach company, when I first addressed the driver last May getting on the coach, they said they had no mandates for the passengers to be wearing masks. That being said, if anybody feels more comfortable wearing their mask, by all means, it's not an issue at all.
Yeah, but it's certainly not a mandated there. And that's, that's been for the past I've been back and forward every month. So that's been the same deal. It's just, and Air Canada is one of the few airlines now that mandate masks. So, all Canadian airlines, WestJet, Air Canada, Porter, etc. But you'll find that US airlines and so forth, you're not required to wear a mask. British Airways certainly not. So yeah, it's whatever you feel comfortable with, really.
Was the Arrive Can app still in place, guys?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Here it is right here. And I don't think I linked it, but there is a website. If you don't have it downloaded to your phones, it's not a problem. We'll be able to help you with that before you leave. I'm fairly used to it at this point.
Just once, if you don't have a device with you or you can't get Wi-Fi or whatever, just download it, print it off, and take the QR code with you in your passport. Okay? Simple as that. As long as you got the QR code and you've got the receipt, that's all you basically need. That's the main thing you need. So anybody can print it off for you. You can even get it done at your local library. So yeah.
To be clear, this is just for your arrival back into Canada.
Yes.
Not for your departure. So this is something we can help you with when we're at the hotel before.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, Ian, what receipts are you talking about?
Okay, when you do the Arrive Can, it's within 72 hours of coming back. So,
Right.
So Sam will definitely help you with this.
Okay.
And what happens is once you register that, they will send you a receipt that they've received and on that receipt will have a QR code. But that's within the 72 hours. So if you're at the hotel, it's a very simple. Glenn and I had to do this as well with his group back in the Netherlands back in April, May. So we can just get it put up at the hotel. If you don't have it, I mean, obviously, if you can get it done at the hotel, they have Wi-Fi there, and you can have it put on your phone and just keep it on your phone, so you don't have to, so you will have easy access. But Sam will go over that with you anyway. Who knows? It's not. They're going to drop it pretty soon anyway.
You might drop
very,
it.
very soon.
Who knows? It's all mystery.
Well, no, and also the other thing too that people were a little bit worried about when on my last program was, of course, the random testing. There's hardly any evidence of that at Toronto Pearson. Getting through Pearson was a breeze. Okay, and as one of you said, July was the hottest. It was ranking up. There's #1 airport in the world for delays and the worst airport in the world and so forth. So I think it's eased off relatively, and it's eased off in one of two reasons. Number one, people said, you know what, we're going to delay our journey. We're not going to do it. Or number two, they're trying to, put as much luggage on the aircraft as possible. So we'll see, but don't fret about it.
Yeah. Everything that Ian just mentioned is down here, kind of like, you don't have to wear a mask on the coach, but it's encouraged, it's not enforced. I would remind you that in France, they like to kiss on both cheeks. That was a problem for me when I first got back to France after 2 years of seeing my friends again. So if you do have friends over there, just remind them that you're not kissing on both cheeks. They would be shocked.
Montreal too,
Oh, sure, right, sure. But anyways, that's how I got COVID in March. So be just wary of stuff like that, I'd imagine, and know that like there are crowds in the airports again, and avoid them as best as you can. But the best thing you can do, and I can't stress enough, I learned this from the editor of the Legion magazine. He told me that if you wash your hands 7 times a day, you'll cut your chance by 70% of getting sick or something like that. But it just comes down to just keep your hands washed, keep sanitizing, and perhaps carry a few antigen tests with you on the tour. That's important because you never know, and it's always nice to just have that peace of mind. Either you have it or you don't. If you are feeling sick, let us know. Stay in the back of the coach. We'll have space, and we do have a filter system. I mean the coaches are filtering air, so keep that in mind, but also keep in communication, because I'll let you guys know that for a lot of you, this might be your first time traveling again in 2 years, your first time really being social in 2 years again. And I know just from being on tour that it's easy to get a cold, or it's easy to get the flu and things like that. So I can't stress enough, COVID or no COVID, let's stay healthy and not forget, wash your hands, keep your distance, that kind of stuff. Okay. Any other questions about COVID or travel regulations flying through?
If I can just jump in a little quick, I've been traveling all summer, working on a show that I'm working on right now, and I've been going through Pearson and everything. Not an issue. I mean, it's obviously people have had issues, but generally speaking, not a problem. One thing I've adopted though for my check-in luggage, I've went out and I bought myself, and they're about $40. It's just like a little Apple tracker. And you put the Apple tracker just in, and then you can find your luggage on your phone anytime you want. So luckily, knock on wood, I haven't been separated from it. But if I ever do, at least I know where it is, and I can tell the airline where it is. So it's, again, it's more of a peace of mind kind of thing than anything else.
Smart to bring up. That's a good one. I like that. Or you might be like my dad and have the insurance, and you're hoping that your luggage will be lost.
Hey, don't sneeze at that. That was $1,500 in the last 3 years. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
On you
Brand
out.
new clothes every season. Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
New wardrobe every season. Nice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The baggage insurance is worth it, you guys. I just want to backtrack 2 more things here. What do I want to backtrack on? Oh, the website. So yeah, lots of different websites and lots of different apps. So I do hope you bring your phones with you, because there's so many incredible apps and information that, JBC, the Juno Beach organization, is spouting out there. CWGC is going to do such a tremendous job. We're going to meet them all through our journey. And also there's regular travel advice in this corner. Europe Remembers is a phenomenal website commemorating the Second World War. We work with the Liberation Route organization, which has had tremendous strides. Europe does such a tremendous job at remembering our very important history. So take a look and connect with these people, because you guys are the ones that Europe wants to speak to. 100%. You now are our firsthand resource. And that's really important. So use these websites to your advantage, connect with these people, because they're all tremendous organizations. And maybe even see, there's a bit better picture of you, eh, David? Right there. I get this question all the time, but where can you find war junk? And where can you find Dieppe Uncovered, and all these phenomenal documentaries that we all fangirl over David O'Keefe for? And I finally will have put it in a map kit, because I get this question so much. Go to Apple TV. Yeah. Even if you don't use Apple TV, you can purchase those episodes there, and it's really cool, and it's not expensive at all. And then you kind of get the high quality documentaries that he's known for, and yeah, check it out. There's links. So I would really recommend. I linked the War Junk episode, I linked the War Junk all seasons, and the Dieppe Uncovered documentary here. Okay. The only thing I want to say on this page, guys, is I noticed that we had the currency wrong in Poland, so I've changed it. It's not the euro, and I noticed that was just a typo in there. So I changed that in here so that you know that Poland does have a different currency. And that's the rating there. All your regular credit cards will work in Poland, but I would mention that Amex is limited to use, American Express, and travels checks are often very difficult to exchange, no longer accepted. Does anyone have any questions about currency?
Yeah, Sam, just a question. They have a different currency in Poland, but do they accept euros?
That's a good question. And I don't know.
No.
They don't, right? Good to know. No, that's good to know. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like the American dollar, you know?
Yes.
Accept it.
Right.
Another thing to mention about the weather, it is going to be hot.
Sorry, what I did last time is because the Polish zloty, you don't want to,
carry so much. You don't want to carry too much.
Yeah, that's we've basically got most of it covered. You don't need a lot for lunch or whatever. Maybe Sam, you may want to do a pool, like just get an amount out and just sell portions thereof. But they take all major credit cards, of course. Yeah. But if it's a cash issue, I did have a problem with a group once. They'd said I was just in Poland for the day, and we went into supermarkets so they could buy something for lunch and stuff like that. And I just paid for it all, and I was just reimbursed. So if you want to think about that, Sam and Jane, that may be a good idea. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah. If anyone needs any cash, although I doubt that you will. All the places we're going won't really require cash, but if you do need some pocket money and you don't want
to, the last night you are everybody's probably eating in the hotel anyway, and you can pay by credit card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to be hot, so come prepared and bring layers, because these ceremonies are outdoors, and I can't stress enough that when we were at Puy, the rain came down like it hasn't ever come down before, and it was cold. And not a lot of people were prepared for that. And the problem is that we're at a ceremony. Sometimes these ceremonies take hours, and there's no shelter. There's no place to sit down. I can't stress that enough, that you need to come prepared for that type of weather too.
Layer. 3 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Sam. I'm just looking at the weather for London. Like it's 30s all week there, from the time of arrival, continue on even after we're gone. So, like you say, everybody should do themselves a favor. Bring some good warm weather clothing. Excellent shoes. Don't bring worn out shoes. We're walking, in some days, quite a bit. Hat, sunscreen if you need it, your sunglasses. Like bring it all, because you'll be frustrated if you don't have it with you. So. So don't let the weather dictate your enjoyability of the tour, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, but don't forgo something that you can layer on for warmth, because they're predicting it's going to be up and down, and we're right on the channel, and you can get 30 degrees on one day, you can get 17, 18 on the next, and it'll go down to 10 or 11 at night at times. And also it's going to be usually a consistent breeze, so make sure you're prepared for that.
Yeah. A shell, a windbreaker, some sort of rain jacket. I am not a huge fan of jeans, just because if we are soaked, it takes a long time for those to dry. So try for a more breathable pant, and layer up. My great advice for coming on a battlefield tour, no matter what, is at least 2 pairs of shoes, because guaranteed your shoes are going to get soaked one day. And if you have a breathable shoe and 2 pairs of shoes, you can kind of go between it. It makes it that's just my advice, to each their own. Cool. Dial codes we can help you out with if you're over there and you don't know how, but I tried to make it as easy as possible to kind of understand how those dial codes work. If you want to use Roam Like Home, I know it's expensive, but it is recommended because it is the easiest to do, and it just saves a lot of hassle if you have friends or family back home, or you're looking to connect. Of course, you can always purchase a SIM card. They are available everywhere overseas, but they are different between the UK and Europe, so keep that in mind. And the last thing I want to mention, I won't go through these maps. There's more maps to come, I'm sure. Please take a look at the Everyman Remembered project and all the incredible work that Jane has done, because she's just a tireless source of energy and just empathy and compassion for what every single man at Blue Beach went through. So support her and follow her and read the resources that she has, because she's just a beautiful human inside and out, and we're so grateful that she
make me start crying.
We just love you so much.
Jeez.
I know. Well, it's important. I think it's important. It's important for every Canadian to know that the work that you've been doing. And I really think it should be the book that you've written with your dad should be in schools. You know, it's just it's so important to not just Canadian history, but military history overall. A lot of eyes are on Dieppe and what happened at Dieppe. I also want to give some special love to the Jubilee Association and their wonderful team at the Memorial Museum in Dieppe. And we'll be meeting them. They're excited to see us and connect with us. But here's a click here to learn more button. Follow the Jubilee Association, support them, and buy stuff from their store. A lot of they've got some incredible books, some cool history, and they need our support. They need our support as much. Of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel while I'm on the tour. I'll be sending shorts and stuff like that. I invite any of you who wants to jump into a private space with me to discuss your family story for a few social projects that we have going on. I recommend it. Just flag me through the tour if there's anything that you want to share with our online community, because again, there's a lot of people following us. We have about 2,000 subscribers on a mailing list that will be following our journey. So keep that in mind. Okay, all of our contact information is there, all of the links to stay in touch and share, because this is an important story. All the information you need to know, all those important numbers. Dad's number, he'll be joining us in Dieppe. So excited. And a huge thank you to Ian. I'm going to stop sharing now, actually. But a huge thank you to Ian for getting all of our flights together and sorted. So when you guys see him in Dieppe, perhaps buy him a drink.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, Glenn.
Because he's been doing all of this, you guys, while on tour. So he's been leading tours all summer, driving the tours. He's been a driver guide, and he's still handling our air requests, which, let me tell you, have been never dealt with the challenges that we've been having with air. I mean, look at these files have been phenomenal. So thanks, Dad, for all your help, because I mean, a lot of travel agents have had to turn to you to the stuff you've got going on. So thank you. Does anyone have any questions about all of the stuff? I'm ready to open it up to the floor, because we have about 15 minutes left in our call.
I have a question.
Yes.
Glenn, who's your hairdresser?
You see why we're best friends now.
It must be the same hairdresser I have.
The same for me too.
Ashes. You.
Any questions about ceremonies? No.
Are they all updated on there then?
Hey Sam, sorry, Ian.
Yes.
Maybe I could just cut in just about the itinerary just for a second there, because
yes, go for it.
A lot of people, like when we design, I'm just addressing everybody here. When we set forth the itinerary, we're consulting the key people involved, and Jane as well, on what we want to accomplish on this tour or any other tour for that matter. So we've outlined what we believe is our best scenario for anybody joining the tour to experience. Okay, and that includes whether it's a ceremony or a certain museum or a cemetery, for example. So what I'm saying is that we believe we've put together the best itinerary possible for all of you to enjoy. Now that also leads to sometimes people have special requests, okay? And I totally understand that. That's part of our jobs. We try to accommodate people as best as possible, or give them the best direction as needed, so they can do what they decide to do if they have a really special thing that you want to get involved with. But I just want to reiterate, we do stick to the itinerary, okay? The itinerary is like in a contract for us to carry out for you as passengers, okay? And we have to get that accomplished. But if somebody says, well, hey, I really wanted to be here at a certain time to see this, we understand, and we'll make our best effort possible to get you there as best as we see fit, okay? So the answer is never no, but I just want you guys to keep in mind that we have to stick to our itinerary and the timing involved, just so we accomplish what we set out to do, okay? And in saying that, we're going to have fun doing it. No, we're not going to be rushing around and chasing you around and getting you back on the bus. We want to have you enjoy this. This is a holiday. This is a pilgrimage, as David said. It's a journey, and we want you to enjoy that and go home with a lot of special memories. And with what we've put together, I'm very positive that that will be the situation. We got a lot of knowledge with it. We got David's a professional historian. We got Jane's passionate research that involved her father so much in this tour. Sam and I and Ian have done this many years, so we got Dieppe covered, is what I'm saying. And with what you guys bring to the table as well with your personal stories, that really enriches the tour. So we're gonna meet with handshakes and smiles at the airport, but there'll be hugs and tears on the way home. I can guarantee you that. So looking forward to meeting y'all. This is gonna be a really good time.
Thank you, Glenn.
So Glenn, there's going to be a parade in Dieppe on the 19th.
Yes, yeah.
What does that entail?
Well, for you as a spectator, you'll be in the right position to watch it. Like we'll be right in the Canada Park, the corner right by the cliff top, and that's where the ceremony will take place. And I believe, Sam, the parade originates right from that point and makes its way up the promenade there. So yeah, you'll be right in position for that. And our hotel, as Sam said before, is right there. So if anybody during the day feels, oh, you know, I just need a break, and on the 19th, for example, you know, you can. I've had people go back to the hotel to sit down, have a beer in the lounge, and come back out too. You know, it's I think Sam said too, there's VIP seating set aside for us at the ceremony as well, which doesn't happen easily. So no, it'll be good. And questions will follow, and Sam and I will be there for your questions each day. You know, we'll be with you every minute on the bus and at the places of visit. We don't take off and disappear for hours on end. Like we'll be there with you the whole time. So if something pops up, we're there to help you handle that. Okay.
Yeah. The parade will start from the Canadian Gardens, and it'll end at the jetty. If you know where that is, it is conveniently quite close to where the hotel is. It's just opposite of where the hotel is on the beach. So it'll start at 3 o'clock, but because we have special seating that was prepared lovingly by Veteran Affairs Canada and Jane's hard work getting us in those VIP seats. We will be meeting up they would like us to start getting to the meeting point at 2 o'clock and have us seated at 2:30 before the before the ceremony starts. Ceremony starts at 3. In the paperwork, it says it'll end around 5:30, but we'll probably disperse by then and meet up for dinner. But we'll reiterate all this on the tour. I can't stress enough that at Dieppe, there tends to be a ton of ceremonies going on at the same time. And, you know, we do have a set schedule, especially because you guys have to remember that Glenn, myself, David O'Keefe, Jane, and our driver are all working staff. So we do have to adhere to working hours. So you won't see Glenn, David, and I be doing there's certain things we won't be able to do in the day, like we won't be doing anything after 9 o'clock at night or even after dinner when it comes to excursions or anything like that, just because our driver has certain hours that he or she must stick to. So that is very important that you know that we can do things within certain parameters, but we are still working staff and we still are required by Euro regulation to have breaks. So remember that we're working too, and we're working hard, and we all require a full night's sleep. So keep that in mind. If you do have other things going on in Dieppe, definitely let us know, and know that there is shuttles and taxis and public transit if there's something that you want to get to, but you need to discuss that with Glenn and I first, and know that our coach has to stick to the regulations and the itinerary that we set up in the beginning. Okay. But there is a lot going on, and if you have any questions about those other ceremonies or other exhibitions and stuff, you can let us know. You can ask us, because we are privy to that information. There's just certain things that we can and can't do on the trip, but we'll be debriefing you at the end of every day for the next day. So we'll continue on. And if anyone needs concrete times of where we're going to be, we'll give them to you. We'll let you know, but know that things change. We can't guarantee exactly what times we're going to be in places. You know, that's how it goes. Best laid plans and all that.
Yeah. but I've always found too, Sam, what you're touching on there, I've always found the Dieppe ceremony quite well organized. And I refer that maybe back to some of the big D-Day anniversaries. They were sometimes taken over by security measures and traffic blockages, and sometimes the experience was lost a little bit, if we leave it at that. But I always found the Dieppe one quite well displayed with enough area for the appropriate amount of people to be there and so forth. So it's good. There's plenty of facilities and plenty to look at right where we're standing, even on the main beaches there. So I think you guys will enjoy the ceremony a lot.
And
I have
Carol,
a question.
yep, go for it.
I did send you an email earlier in the week. The RHLI ceremony is at 1.
Yes.
And
that's
you said to bring it up today, so I am.
Yeah. And that's why I mentioned to you, Carolyn, if you guys could hang on the line afterwards to discuss with Glenn and I.
Yeah, I think I got a plan that'll work there for you, okay?
Yeah.
Right.
We'll discuss that with you. Yeah. But we want to support the RHLI. We're straight out of Burlington, so have to support.
We'll speak
They
about,
have a branch in Burlington.
Yeah.
We'll speak about the landings of Portville. Of course, Puy is going to be our main focus, but we'll address the main beaches, red and white. We'll even talk about the commando landings on the outer flanks. David's got a ton to add about, and I want to just touch on that for a quick second. Everything we knew about Dieppe changed in 2012, 2013 when David released his research on what's going to happen. So what happened and the pinch mission in question. And Sam and I have been talking with David about David putting on some separate lectures almost. We're going to try and get a hotel room set aside like we did before. So David in detail can tell us all, if you're not up to speed on what he's uncovered, what Dieppe was mostly about, okay? Because like I said, up to 2012, we all had one certain idea, and David kind of changed the playing field on that with his research. Now, I can't give David's work justice on a microphone for 10 minutes on the bus. That's why I do not want to, I'm not going to go about that myself. I have the man right with us, okay? And we're going to use David to his full extent to tell us about his findings and so forth as well. So when we get landed on Dieppe, we'll set aside some time. I'm going to let you all know well in advance, and David is going to give you a real good learning episode on what pinch missions and about a lot of the names involved, like Huntington Whiteley and all the names that you should know about this, okay? And David, maybe you can talk about that a little bit there.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just going to warn you. It's a 7-day immersive experience, so it'll be 7 days of all my research. Okay, so that's basically what it's going to be. There's going to be a special package, and there'll be a quiz at the end. No, it's not going to be that bad. But what we will do is, without a doubt. I mean, it's really exciting. I mean, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We might be able to do a little bit of a preview on the ferry on the way over. I actually have gone out and I've purchased my own projector, so I'll have it with me. I just hope I can plug it in. We can find a wall. So I'll do a little bit of a briefing as if you guys are heading into Dieppe, just like on that day, and you'll see what your objective is, and your objective will be part and parcel of the overall thing that we're not going to discuss until we're actually on land. And that's historically, what the men from the Royal Regiment or the Royal Highland Regiment or anybody else who was, landing on that day, or the Hamiltons, that's what they experienced. Everything was essentially stovepiped to them. So we're going to tease you a little bit with the stovepiping, and then we'll lay it all out when we get into Dieppe, and you'll understand why this is an incredible place, without a doubt.
Okay, Dave and I spoke a little bit before last week, perhaps, and I think we discussed it the best way to do it, because we don't want to assume that everybody knows the story of Dieppe, and I think it'd be a mistake to do that. Everybody comes with a different knowledge base. So I'm going to lay out the framework, and I'm going to have David fill in a lot of the juicy part of the story, the stuff that a lot of people do not know at all. Okay, so that's how we'll get. I'll be doing a lot of speaking on the bus microphone, and David will too, Jane. And then David said we'll do these separate off the path ones that will really get you involved in this story. So that's why I feel you guys are going to get such a fantastic tour out of this. This doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it's going to be really special to walk the ground. There's no doubt about it. The best primary source for military history is the actual battlefield itself. Yep. And that's exactly what you're going to get. And very few people in this world, sadly, have actually done that. So, we're all fortunate to be doing this.
Absolutely. I want to thank you all so much for coming on the tour. And I, like you, am pinching myself that this is real and that it's happening, and that, you know, if you told me 7 years ago that we would be doing this, I mean, I just think it's unbelievable. Thanks all for coming. One last thing that I want to mention before I let you all go is meals. Most of our meals throughout the trip are pre-planned, and I'm planning them now. I noticed that not a lot of you have allergies, which kind of scares me. If you do have any dietary preferences, if you don't like fish, if you don't like chicken, I need to know now. Send me an email, because if I don't get that email and I hear while we're there that you don't like something, there's little to nothing I can do about it, but I can do something about it now. So do let me know if there's anything you don't like. To see that there are no allergies is great. That's awesome. But I'm also looking for your dietary preferences as well. Now, we know the food in France is good, so no stress there. But I still want to know if you have any particular preferences. Okay. That was the last important piece. Jane, you haven't said much. Is there anything else you want to leave us with?
I just want to sort of prepare people. I know a few people have said how emotional it's going to be, and they're apologizing ahead of time for being mush balls and you know, crying, and we're all going to be in the same situation. This will be my 4th trip to Dieppe on an anniversary, and I'll tell you, it doesn't get any easier when you're first there. So we're going to be walking in the footsteps of our fathers, grandfathers, friends, people we've heard about, heroes. They're all heroes, in my opinion. We're going to tell you stories about people that normally don't get recognized. And just know we're all in this together. So if you're going to break down and start crying, we're probably all going to be doing it, but we're also going to have fun. So you're going to leave to come home feeling a very personal connection to your family member that didn't talk about what they had gone through. You're going to see it, you're going to feel it, you're going to walk it. So not that I want to scare you from, but we're going to have fun too. We're going to make light of situations where we need to. So don't feel that you're going to be embarrassed. You know, because I'll tell you, my very first trip there, I was totally embarrassed because I had a complete meltdown. Like, I was yelling at the top of my lungs, what the hell were they thinking? So yeah, I just want to let you know that, because I have a few, you know, heard a few people say that. So looking forward so much to being with you guys and doing this, and we're going to have an amazing time.
Yeah, one thing if I can just chime in, I mean, it will be emotional. There's no doubt. It'll be a bit of a roller coaster. But one thing I've noticed about doing these things is the incredible jubilation at the end of it all. There is a cathartic release, and you'll probably really feel that the night of the 19th. You know, it'll be an emotional day, and then you'll just be so happy that we live in a life where we can do this right now, live in an era. You know, and there's a profound sense of genuine appreciation and joy at the end of all this. So, you know, look forward to that.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much. It's so great. Anyone else have any more questions before we say goodbye? All right.
I just want to thank you, Sam. You've done so much work. You know, like I know Jane, David, and your dad and I have asked a lot of you, and you've always produced results. And I can tell you that this tour wouldn't be going if you weren't behind a lot of this. And your dad,
100%.
you know, so many phone calls, so many texts and emails, and we'll be there. We'll be the Canadian group that's there, feet on the ground, and people will notice this. They'll see you, and I'm glad you've all decided to join. It's going to be an amazing trip.
It's going to be amazing.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks.
Thanks even to you, Ian. Even though we have issues, thanks to you too. Not all of us can afford Hair Club for Men, so don't you worry about that.
From what I can see, it's a layaway plan.
Oh, it's gonna be
a lot of fun. gonna be a lot of fun. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for joining. If I can have, Carolyn and Jacqueline stay on with us just for a little bit, and we can discuss what your plans are going to be. David, Jane, if you guys want to stay on, you can. But other than that, we'll see you
Next
on
Saturday.
Saturday.
You on Saturday?
We'll see you Saturday. Yes. Yes, we're keeping track on that flight, AC 858 all day. We'll be keeping, so if you guys are delayed for any reason, knocking on all the wood, but just to make sure, we're keeping an eye on you, and you're in good hands. Cool.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
See you next
Thanks
week.
all.
See you overseas.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
folks.
Thanks,
Looking forward to this.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Paul. Bye.
Toodles, everybody. Woohoo. Oh,
It's so great to meet everybody.
I know.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
All right.
We used to start tours just with a piece of paper with a bunch of names on it. Like Zoom has changed all that. You. Oh, you're so. Okay, yeah, I've been looking at your name for a month.
Yeah.